Okay. Today we talk about Canadian New Food Guide. So in January 2019, Health Canada was published a new Canadian Food Guide. So in this guide, milk and dairy product no more category, independent category. So this is the first time in decades. As you can see, in this is the old food guide. There are 4 categories. And the new food guide only 3 categories: cereals, vegetables, and fruits, and protein. And no longer emphasizing the protein intake from meat and dairy product. Instead, it is recommended to increase protein intake from plant. So this change challenge the conventions has been protected more than 70 years. As you know, dairy industry is most influential lobbying group in Canadian agriculture that spend more than $80 million a year to encourage Canadians to drink milk and consume more dairy product. So for decades, from the supply of milk from schools to the dairy product promoted in many important events across the country. Dairy industry and dairy farmers rely on long-term national policy support to survive and develop. So look at this milk advertisement. So it was posted in Toronto Metro around the year 2000. So at that time, milk was promoted as a very important source of human body's calcium and protein. So why milk is marginalized in the new Canadian Food Guide? There are 2 main reasons. The first, milk, for the common sense of people, milk is supplemented with calcium. But in fact, the calcium content in milk is not significantly higher than other food. For example, 100 milk contains 110 milligram calcium. But at the same time, 100 gram kelp, which is kind of edible seaweed, contains up to 1,177 milligram calcium. So that's 11 times more than milk. And also, there's many vegetables contains much more calcium than milk. Let me see this. Oh, not yet. Okay, so at the same time, the magnesium content in milk is relatively low. When calcium and the magnesium, they work together, usually as a ratio of 2 to 1. So that's the only way to promote calcium absorption in milk for the body. But in milk, this ratio is only 10 and 1. So even the content of calcium is very, very high, quite a lot. But the calcium absorption rate is not very high. So that's the first reason. The second reason is natural milk contains BGH, growing growth hormone. So this hormone is produced by cows, and milk is produced by this hormone. In 1980s, biotechnology transferred the gene of BGH to bacteria. So the same protein was synthesized by culturing bacteria. So the same BGH was obtained. It's called RBGH. So that's RBGH. It's called recombinant bovine growth hormone. So since that time, the milk dairy farmer has used RBGH extensively to increase milk production. Then analysis of milk by scientists in many countries around the world, including Canadian, they found that the use of RBGH increases the level of IGF-1 in milk. So the full name of IGF-1 is insulin-like growth factor 1. So many studies show that IGF-1 causes breast cancer in women and prostate cancer in men. And the occurrence of these tumors is positively related with consumption of dairy product. So this is because the cows eat hormone-containing feeds that is harmful to human body and stimulate the body's hormone-sensitive organ to grow excessively. So that's why the reason is the breast cancer and prostate cancer are high in Western country. Oh, yeah. IGF-1 is a hormone content in milk itself, which is low. That was naturally produced in the past. But after people started to use artificial hormone to stimulate cows to produce more milk, the amount of the IGF-1 in milk has increased several tens of times. So the risk of the carcinogenicity of milk is, of course, greatly increased. So that's the conclusion. The milk as an important source of nutrition in traditional sense has changed in modern theory. So the new Canadian Food Guide no longer focuses on sponsoring agriculture, but the ultimate goal is to highlight nutritional safety. All right, guys, that's all information I want to share with you. Thank you. Finish.